Alright everyone, it's time for Occult Literature, video number 220, Remedial Uses of Hypnotism. A rather interesting little work. It's very short, it's only 24 pages, and originally it was basically an essay. A medical essay, as it were. Link in the description to my edition of this work on Amazon. Second and third links are to my books blogs. If you're interested in sort of the medically arcane material, I've got plenty of that. This is a work that is more rationalistic. And what it is basically we would put it today under quack science. Now, we've got to be careful using that term because hypnotism is not a quack science. It's just that the overt application of hypnotism, suggestion, sort of this general family of terms, to basically everything under the sun 100 years ago has largely fallen out of favor today. That is, the hypnotism then was like, oh yeah, I treated my asthma with hypnotism, I treated rheumatism, cancers go away, you just mesmerize someone into thinking that they don't have cancer. Those things generally don't work. The actual use of hypnotism generally is therapeutic. It's more, it falls more under psychiatry, and the idea is that a lot of times a sickness is not actually caused by a true underlying disorder or disease. It's all in your head, like literally speaking. If then you can convince the person to let that stress go, the symptoms disappear. Sometimes you need repeated doses of hypnotism to deal with that. It can be, an ongoing thing to fight some chronic disorder. It can help with pain, and it can certainly help with stress, which affects everything else. If you're under stress, insomnia can result, headaches, things of that nature. Hypnotism can be useful for dealing with those. But the idea that it cures like cancer or defeats viruses, of course, as they thought then, not so much. Also, it makes the exaggerated claim that virtually all people are affected by it, that it can be medically effective in like 90% of cases. That's not necessarily true. Actually, very few people are particularly susceptible to suggestion, like mesmerism. It's more like 15–20% of people. And most people can be mesmerized if you try hard enough, but as far as people that like, wave your hand and, voila, you are now a chicken or something, that's fairly uncommon. It happens. It is possible to sort of mindfuck somebody like that. It's just, it requires a little bit more effort than that. And if a person is unwilling to be hypnotized, then it'd be extremely difficult. But anyway, it's a good little work, and most of it is really, the bulk of the work, about more than half of it, is really a series of testimonials. Literally the person who delivered the essay actually saying, well, here are some cases where hypnotism was helpful. Some of the underlying theory of how it works, making passes and stuff, that's spoken of, but it's fairly brief. At the end, and sort of wraps things up and says, well, we can do all sorts of wonderful things, and here's, in brief, rebuttal of some of these other people that are saying hypnotism is full of shit. And of course, now, more than 100 years later, we realize it's really sort of a fusion of those 2 points. Hypnotism is not useless, and it's not technically a pseudoscience at all, but it was definitely massively overblown, massively overused. Now, it also talks about the idea that clinical hypnotism, like in an interpersonal voluntary setting, is different from the kinds of hypnotism that you see like on a stage show or something, and it was pointed out because a lot of people at the time thought it was dangerous. They thought, well, if this power exists, you do crazy things with it. Yes, but it's a little bit different if you're simply trying to help someone through maybe a tough time and they're cure them of depression or something. And it shouldn't be thought of even as a cure, but really a therapeutic remedy, which is sort of spoken to here, at least in part, because in some of the testimonials, it's like, well, this person came for hypnotism, didn't really do anything, we kept it up, a week later they started showing some improvement, and basically once they start thinking in terms of improving, then it becomes a steady process, or at least can. So again, link in the description of my edition of this work on Amazon. Second and third links are to my books blogs. That's about all. Peace out.